I'll talk to you a little bit today about CSW and about that conference. So at the recent session of CSW, a lot of young women said, what is feminist leadership? And how is it different from patriarchal leadership? So I'm going to share with you two experiences that really shaped my own thinking. In 1995, I discovered feminist leadership and the International Women's Movement. I previously worked with UN agencies and even with the Secretariat of the Second World Conference on Women in Copenhagen, which incidentally, we introduced this convention on the elimination of all forms of discrimination against women to governments. By the way, President Carter signed that in 1980. And when I joined the NGO Forum for the UN Fourth World Conference on Women, I was in a very different world. My job was coordinating the NGO regional networks and creating a unified NGO amendments to the Beijing Platform for Action. So after 3 years of preparation, 5 regional meetings, 189 countries adopted that document. And it was indeed the largest gathering in the history of the UN. So what I want to say from that experience is we have to remember that strong backlash is not new. It's not new. At that time, very well-funded, powerful alliances between the Holy See, Latin American countries, fundamentalist Islamic groups, backed by US conservative, pro-life, anti-abortion NGOs were active. But we organized, and I watched how skillfully women and men, boys and girls, in all their diversity, indigenous women, disabled women, LGBTQ and older women, built coalitions. And they confronted that backlash very successfully. So Jessica talked about the Cities for CEDAW campaign. And I'll just fill you in a little bit on that as well. So the NGO Committee on the Status of Women New York, which convened the NGO Forum, which two of your representatives who spoke earlier attended, in 2014, that committee launched this campaign based on the 1998 San Francisco experience. And the organizations that made this campaign successful were some that you probably heard of: Seroptimist International, Zonta, Women's League for Peace and Freedom, the International Alliance of Women, and UNA, and they all took it home, just the way your two representatives brought CSW home. And each campaign was different. Violence against women and girls was very important in Pittsburgh, but women's economic empowerment and women's businesses were important in Toledo, Ohio. And the entire campaign is so grassroots that there is no UN funding. It is all based on local financing, political, and I would say social resources. And that touched small jurisdictions like Granville, Ohio, which is a population of 6,000, and to LA County, which you just heard about. So today, when I reflect on these times, I no longer see feminist leadership as a military command. I no longer see a general leading the troops into battle. I see it as someone holding a torch, illuminating the way forward, or someone being a bridge. Because sometimes the movement reaches a chasm that is so wide, or a river that is so turbulent that the movement cannot cross. In those moments, the leaders become the bridge, and people walk over you to the other side. And when they finish at the other side, you lift the torch again, and you show them where they've been and where they need to go. So I do believe that history places all of you in pivotal moments. And when that happens, you have to recognize the responsibility. You have to understand how much depends on you at that moment. and you cannot fail. And that, to me, is recognizing leadership in yourself. So for researchers who are here this morning, I also want to remind you that leadership is in your hands. Very sound, data-based advocacy helps shape our theories and our arguments that we need in the feminist movement. And here's a message for the young women in the room. If you are interested in making a difference, why not keep your eye on the highest office in the world? And why not imagine yourself as the next feminist woman, UN Secretary General? Thank you very much.